Hey guys, Jakson Buhaj here with TMZ. A lot of crazy breaking news just at the start of this week on Monday. We're going to get into it in just a second, but I do want to say, try and keep it light in the comments. Obviously, a lot has been going on regarding the ICE situation in Minneapolis. We're going to be covering that and a lot more, so stick around to the end to see what we have in store for you. But starting off with something that I think is pretty shocking. Now, Kanye West and his rhetoric has been a topic of discussion on the internet for a very long time. And a lot of people are debating on whether or not he's going through mental health issues or whether or not he genuinely believes what he says regarding his anti-Semitic comments. Now, he's displayed multiple forms of anti-Semitism throughout the last couple of years. From selling swastika t-shirts on his website to making a song about, heiling Hitler. Now, something's happened this morning that I think marks a huge turning point in Kanye West's story. And a lot of people, especially across Twitter, have been caught by surprise because Kanye West took out a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal, essentially apologizing for all of the controversial things he said and anti-Semitic things he said over the last year. Now, why this is shocking is because he has been adamant that Jews control the media, that Jews control the stock market, that Jews control the governments, that Jews control social media, and what he, even in one of his songs he says that they don't allow him to see his children, that Jews control him specifically. He's expressing regret, which is a complete 180 from the Kanye West that we know and that we've seen over the last couple of years. He basically says that he attributes his behavior to an undiagnosed brain injury from a near-fatal accident, car accident he was in 25 years ago. Now, if you don't remember, this is the same car crash that inspired his song Through the Wire. Now, in this long letter that he promotes on the ad that he bought out from the Wall Street Journal, he says that in this car crash, he damaged his frontal lobe, and that wasn't properly identified or diagnosed until 2023. And he's saying that the damage to his frontal lobe is what triggered his bipolar 1 disorder. He goes through this letter and he kind of details what he's going through during his manic episodes. He says that, he loses touch with reality. And he says that he kind of has these out-of-body experiences where he thinks that he's seeing the world clearer than ever while everybody is overreacting and telling him that, what he's saying is completely out of line and that he is in a manic episode while his bipolar disorder just kind of gets him to deny that. He says, quote, "I lost touch with reality. Things got worse the longer I ignored the problem. I said and did things I deeply regret." Now, he's clear that mental illness doesn't let him off the hook. He says, "It's not an excuse for what I did, though. I'm not a Nazi or an anti-Semite. I love Jewish people." What also caught a lot of people by surprise is that the apology also addresses the black community, which he calls unquestionably the foundation of who I am. And he adds, "I'm so sorry to have let you down. I love us." Now, at the end of his apology, he says something that I think is very indicative of where he is now. He says he's committed to changing. And he says that he's not asking for sympathy or a free pass, but he wants to aspire to earn the forgiveness of his audience and his fans. "I write today simply to ask for your patience and understanding as I find my way home." And what's interesting is that if you've seen, maybe his interview with DJ Academics, I think that interview he has with DJ Academics is so telling because, he's definitely in the middle of a manic episode. I mean, just first of all, he walks in the room in the Ku Klux Klan outfit and he rearranges all the furniture and just goes on this hour-long rant.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Maybe they're saying that you don't take accountability.
No, that was my fault. I didn't want to have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with her. But that wasn't God's plan.
And to go from that in 2025 to this letter now, I think is a huge step in the right direction for Kanye. So hopefully we see him continuing to take these steps. He says that he's funneling all of that energy into exercise, into creating art, into therapy, into taking his medication. And so again, I think this is a huge step in the right direction. I'm very excited to see what Kanye has in store in the coming year. And maybe he'll even get to spend some more family time. We saw him spending time with Kim and his kids over Christmas, and we even saw him at Disneyland with Bianca Censori and a couple of his children as well, so maybe we'll even get to see more of that as well. So here's something I bet you didn't expect to see, especially at the beginning of 2026. Amber Heard is still bringing up her high-profile legal battle with Johnny Depp. Now, if you don't remember, back in 2022, which, by the way, who doesn't remember this case? It's one of the biggest celebrity divorce cases in history. But Johnny Depp sued Amber Heard over a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she described her experiences with domestic abuse. Now, obviously, this is a case that was televised. Everybody saw it. The jury awarded Depp millions in damages, while Heard won on a smaller account, on one count of her countersuit. So Amber Heard is appearing in a new documentary called Silenced. Now, this is a documentary that debuted at the 2026 Sundance Film Festival. And now this film was directed by Selena Miles, and it was featuring an international human rights lawyer, Jennifer Robinson. And it examined how defamation laws can be used to silence survivors of abuse. Now, in rare remarks, in this documentary, Amber Heard described the personal toll of speaking publicly after the trial, and she said, "I didn't understand it could get so much worse for me as a woman. Using my voice, I have lost my ability to speak. I am not here to tell my story. I don't want to tell my story. In fact, I don't want to use my voice anymore. That's the problem." Obviously, depending on what side you're on, whether you're on Johnny Depp's side or whether you're on Amber Heard's side, it could possibly rub you the wrong way, considering the outcome of the huge high-profile case. She goes on to emphasize that her participation in the documentary isn't about what she thinks about what happened with the case, but about broader issues faced by women targeted by powerful legal tactics. Now, a lot of people don't see this as just a documentary. They think that Amber Heard is leveraging the documentary's platform to voice her opinion about the outcome of the case. Some people are saying that it's a gross misuse of the documentary's platform and its overall message. Others are saying, why are you still on the topic? Get over it already. And then obviously you have, that marginal group of people that are in support of Amber Heard. We're interested to know what you think. Do you think that Amber Heard is using this documentary to talk about the case, or do you think she's highlighting another topic in general? Let us know in the comments. But it's worth saying that since the trial, Amber Heard has kept a very low public profile. She's relocated to Spain and focused on family life with her 3 children. Now, a lot of people think that for Johnny Depp, this case actually really helped him, because after the case, his career has gone through a massive resurgence, and most recently, stepping behind the camera to helm a feature with Al Pacino in the lead role. Now, this one is crazy. Obviously, if you've been watching the news, you've definitely heard about the immigration protests in Minneapolis. A lot of people getting together and protesting the presence of DHS officers and ICE agents. Now, these demonstrators have been particularly vocal and active around hotels where federal agents are believed to be staying. So essentially what these protesters are doing is they're hearing these whispers and rumors of what hotels these ICE agents are staying in around the city, and they are going to those hotels. And they're banging on the windows, they're banging on the doors. These protests have only gotten worse after the several fatal shootings involving ICE and Border Patrol agents, including the deaths of Minneapolis residents Renee Good and Alex Preddy during enforcement operations. So these protesters have come together to coordinate statewide civic action, described in parts as a general strike or day of truth and freedom, saw businesses close. Marches around the city, led by thousands, were held, and calls for systemic change from clergy, labor organizations, and civil rights advocates were made. And ICE agents had trouble sleeping last night in Minneapolis because these demonstrators gathered around that Hilton Sunday night to protest federal immigration agents believed to be staying there near the University of Minnesota. Now, in this video, the crowd is using fireworks and whistles and noise making to draw attention to their cause, with messages like "ICE out" and "ICE kills" spray painted on the building. This demonstration came just one day after Border Patrol agents shot Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old Minneapolis resident, during a protest on Saturday. Community anger has intensified as residents demand accountability for federal agents' use of deadly force in their city. And in a recent YouthGov poll taken, more Americans strongly support abolishing ICE than those who oppose it. And what is most striking about this poll is not that more Americans support abolishing ICE, but there has been a relatively big jump from Republicans supporting it, up 4% from earlier this month. So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments if you think the ISIS presence in Minneapolis is justified, or if you think that the demonstrators are justified in going to the hotel. We're interested to hear what you guys think. Obviously, it's a very tough time across the nation right now, so keep it light in the comments, but definitely feel free to express your opinion. My name is Jakson Buhaj, and I will see you guys in the next one.